have you to thank for their name. What's the story behind that?
Well, I did a television show in New York called Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
And at the beginning of the show, before the live broadcast, the audience would come in, and then we would do a warm-up, just with comedy and with music. And we used to play, I was conducting the band, and I used to bring up Danny Aykroyd because he played the blues part. And I would bring him up and he would play with the band. The band was kind of sax, volt, horns, and rhythm section. And then Belushi wanted to join in, so he would join in, and I would introduce them as those brothers in blues, the Blues Brothers.
Right.
So it came out of the warm-up. I don't know where the name came from, but apparently that's the way I introduced them. So I think I created the name. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But
Sorry. I got a question about the use of instruments, because their sounds appear to me very tied to the character they represent to the team. I have in mind the orcs team, maybe in the Lord of the Rings, darker, percussive, very different from the elves or the Roman people.
Yes.
Or even in games in New York with the fifes, drums,
Yes.
stuff like this. So my question is about how do you choose what do you want to achieve with a different instrument, and how,
Right.
for example, for the orcs, do you choose that?
Yes. Well, I write compositionally first. I write in counterpoint and in harmony. I write in longhand, and I do all the composition very black and white, not with any colors.
In mind?
No, I just do it all very black, and it's very visual. The score to me. And then once I have the composition the way I want it, then I ask myself the question, well, how do you perform this? What's the sound? What's required to perform it? And then I orchestrate in pen. And then I bring the colors in the orchestration. And then in the recording I conduct, and so I go for the performance now. But in the case that you're talking about, that was a color that I brought in to create the sound of the orcs is really Isengard. And Isengard is the industrialization of Middle Earth. So it was the forging of steel and metal was being created. And so the sound, I used all metal percussion. And the inside of the piano with chains, we took chains and wrapped them and smashed the inside of the piano. And there was
chains,
really? Yeah, and anvils, and were hit, and so all metal. And so that's how I kind of would work with the sound, with the colors, the orchestration. In the case of the Ents, which were trees, all the orchestration was wood. I used bassoons and woodwinds and stuff. So I had a lot of resources to create different colors of sound with the orchestra. And so I would use the resources. Anything I could think of, I could try.
I have a question about you regarding the beginning. Could you tell us the first moment you met Cronenberg? Why he became, you and Cronenberg became a powerful team and worked together for a long time?
Yes. He's a few years older than me, but I knew him from the neighborhood when we grew up in Toronto. When I was 14, he was 17. So he's a few years older. And when you're 17, you can drive. And at 14, you just walk. And so I'd be walking, and I would see him. He had a beautiful Ducati motorcycle, and he would drive that, and I would see him going, and this beautiful bike and everything. And I found out he made films. He made 8mm films, and then he made 16mm. And I would see them in underground film festivals. We didn't have they were just weekend festivals, Kenneth Anger's short films, all this. And so I knew his movies from that. I was a fan of his movies. But it wasn't until I was years later, maybe 12 years later, that I had done a lot of work and had all my compositions, I gathered more knowledge, and I asked him to work on The Brood, and I had done one film before that, and he said, okay, he took me on, and then I was the first composer he worked with, and he was the first real director I worked with. And then we just worked through 30 years. We did 15 films, all many different experimental ideas and all electronic, some of them with symphony orchestra, some of them with chamber orchestra, with guitars and Crash, Naked Lunch with jazz. We just tried many different things. That was the real fun of it.
And why you didn't make the Dead Zone, the only film?
It was just a kind of misunderstanding, I think, with the producer, and sometimes not everything works out correct the way it's supposed to work out. It was just a kind of thing that it didn't quite work out. Yeah.
Are you synesthetic? Like, do you visualize music? Do you see music in colors? Do you smell music?
It's more visual.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, most of what I do, I write in longhand. So scores are the art of composition to me is more a visual art than an oral art. And then later on, it becomes more about the ears.
Right.
But it always starts with the visualization, the relationship of notes on the page. Yeah.
So like here in Locarno, everything is yellow and black, like a leopard. Those are the official colors of the film festival. Does that already evoke like a melody or a mood in your mind?
No, I don't really think that way. Yeah. I think more in terms of black and white, composite, harmony, counterpoint, and then the colors later on.
Right, okay.
But the colors have to do also with the environment, where the music is being played. Like the room and the physics of the room has a lot to do with the sound of the instruments. I do a lot of live recording, so,
You won the Oscar